Interesting fight going on in the ring here. Peter Judson, Barry Jones for the IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight crown. Now, how do you think the judges might be scoring this so far? Because it's interesting, the neat boxing skills of Jones and the pressure of Judson. But is Jones doing more and winning the rounds? What do you think?
Well, for me, Jones is doing the better boxing. It is hard to score because he's constant pressure, but a lot of this pressure is just with the feet. He's getting into distance, but Jones is the one, just for me, doing more work and just starting to pull a little bit ahead.
And a big lead there for Barry Jones. Couple of rounds anyway on Glenn's scorecard. Thought it was a little wider than that myself, but it could be that the judges are giving more reward for this walk forward pressure of Judson. There is a feeling to it within the trade, Glenn, that the longer this goes, the more it will suit Judson.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and that Judson's camps probably realised they're fighting a lighter man who's obviously got the edge and speed, and they might have to wait a little bit and just wear their man down till he starts to tire, and then they can start getting through. So the Judson camp may be looking for the second part of the fight to start getting on top.
Watch for Judson too, going to the body to try to slow Jones down. It's a little bit of swelling by the left eye of Jones, who continues to be fast and elusive. So far he's done absolutely nothing wrong, but the question is, can he keep this going? Bit of a nick underneath the right eye too for Barry Jones. Hasn't really been subjected to a long, demanding, grueling affair like this yet, so it's a massive test of whether Jones has really got what it takes to make some impact in the pro ranks. Big chance for him, he knows that.
Judson's also such a very fit man. He's very strong, but he's also very fit. Works so hard, really in love with the game, and that's such a positive factor for him.
Oh, it's a good right hand, that one, by Judson. Jones doesn't want to be taking those, is he? Just slowing a little. Watch for signs of that. If this Peter Judson had a real big punch as well to go with his solid chin, his tight defense, he would be some fighter, wouldn't he?
Certainly, I think a big punch would really help. Unfortunately, he hasn't got that, but he makes up for it in fitness and strength.
I think Judson won that round. Well, let's hear what Barry McGuigan's making of things so far.
I have given Jones all the rounds bar the first, which has scored even up until the 6th round, but Judson has timed this perfectly. He's beginning to put the pressure on and tighten the screws on Jones, and he's starting to land just before the end. The last half a minute he landed with a crunching right hand, and he's just applying steady pressure now and beginning to wear Jones down. And it's just the way I've seen it. He'll apply the pressure steadily over the next couple of rounds, and I think he'll grind them down and stop Jones.
Meanwhile, our spy in the Barry Jones corner tells us that in that last round, Jones was told just to use his jab, and they may have been taking a breather in that round. They may have felt they just needed to pace things a little. 62-year-old Ronnie Rush in the corner with Barry Jones. He was with Steve Robinson throughout his world title campaign. Sadly, they've parted company recently.
Jones's reflex is still good. Got through with a good right hand of his own, but he's got to keep the movement going. That could be hard in a fight like this.
And there's still a long way to go. We're only just past the halfway point. Glenn's scorecard. has Jones just 1 point ahead. I've got him 3 ahead at this stage. I see it a bit more like Barry McGuigan. Certainly Judson won that last round. But these rounds have been tough to score.
Judson just starting to get a little closer now. You just wonder if the strength is starting to tell. He's starting to get through more and more, and these body punches are going to be hurting.
And Jones just beginning to breathe heavily and not looking quite as light on his feet. These are ominous signs for the Welshman. He does not want to be there standing in front of Judson. He really is a hard man, hard nut, this Peter Judson.
Yes, defensively he just relies on that high held guard. He doesn't really move his head a great deal, just opting to catch the punches on the glove, and even he'll take them if he has to.
I was mentioning the fact that Judson has lost 13 times, but in his mind he's never lost. If you speak to him after a fight, he always feels he was robbed if he is beaten. He's a man who has told us all the time, even when he was losing fights, that one day he would come through, that he was a better fighter than his record suggested, and he may be able to prove a few people wrong in the next year or so. He's still walking forward. He's still got some work to do on the scorecards, maybe.
Yes, but you think he'll have planned for that. His battle plan will be to put the pace on. The camp know that they may have to take punches early on, but they know he's strong enough to do that, and they'll be looking to wear their man down in the late stages.
It's a good left hand, that one, from Jones. Good left hook. Just take a look at the body shots in that last round. Judson 22 landed and Jones only 1.
I think that tells the tale of what Judson's trying to do. He knows that the man's going to use his legs on the box, and he's going to try and wear him down by strength-sapping body punches. And he was putting quite a few in that round. He was a bit leveler because Jones started to get back onto his boxing and started to land with a few nice counters himself. So it was a pretty even round for me.
I just gave it to Judson myself. Now, is he tiring? That's the question, isn't it?
Starting to be a little bruised and marked up around the eyes.
And if he's to win this, almost certainly, he has to keep on piling up the points for another 15 minutes of boxing. Long time. Will Jones run out of gas in the same way that Dean Phillips did in his fight with Judson? Or has he prepared properly for the 12 rounds? Is he pacing it, giving himself little breathers here and there? That could be another scenario. Keep watching.
Oh, I'm sure Jones has prepared well, because just to throw the amount of punches and the amount of work rate he's done already, he's got to be in good condition. But it's something else when it's a pressure fighter like Peter Judson, who never stops, who always keeps coming at you.
What you have to assess is, as you said before, he keeps walking forward, but how much is he getting through with when he does walk forward? In this round, Jones has come back well.
Yes, I think at times that's one of the problems with Judson. He's not getting hurt by these punches, so he stops throwing them himself and just continues to chase fighters where he needs to keep busy with his hands. I think sometimes that's why he feels that he's won the fight, when actually he's lost because he hasn't done enough work with his hands.
He's a good hit and run tactics in this round from Jones. He's winning this round big at the moment, I think. And that cut underneath the right eye, this gets a little more troublesome. It's not going to be anything to stop the fight, though, unless it really opens up into a terrible gash. The blood will not run into the eye. He has to keep those legs young and fresh, Barry Jones.
Well, he's done better in this round. Maybe he's just starting to get a second wind and feel a little more refreshed. He's back to the movement, throwing out fast punches.
Good uppercut as well. Judson just coming on a bit stronger in the last minute of the round. Well, I still thought Jones won the round on the strength of his better work for the first 2 minutes. This is the belt that is at stake in the ring at the moment. The IBF Intercontinental Super Featherweight title. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it means plenty to Peter Judson because it's the first belt he's ever won. He aims to keep it, but Barry Jones has other ideas, as he's been proving all along here. Jones in the blue trunks. Good fight, Glenn, isn't it?
It's a good and exciting fight. Good clash of styles here. The walk forward slugger against the boxer. But for me, Jones just doing enough in the last round to get that one. But he's still full of power, still full of strength, Peter Judson.
Slightly more marked up, tired look about Jones for a moment. Just looking a bit more apprehensive. And now Judson's shouting at him across the ring. We hear stories from the gym of him losing his rag a bit like this. Few verbals. Now he forgets it. Let's get back to work again.
Well, he landed with a couple of jabs there, Judson, but he got caught with the left hook on his way in.
This is more of what Judson wants in this round. He's managing to close the range more effectively.
He's got to close the distance down, Judson. He's got to keep on top of Jones, and he's got to keep throwing punches.
The Welsh fans singing, trying to inspire Barry Jones to get through this. It's beautifully poised.
He's having to work so hard, Barry Jones, to keep out of range, keep on the move, lots of footwork, and a nice quick right hand there from Jones.
That was terrific work from him. There's a lot of latent skill there, but then he gets caught with a left hook from Judson, who did equally well. Judson's getting through with a bit more in this round. Every time you think Jones is starting to tire and give out one or two distress signals, he suddenly picks it up again, doesn't he?
He does. He used a nice little burst of movement there, and then a fast combination. It just shows that he's still all right and he's not as tired as at times he looks.
This is where every mile pounded out on the roads, all the work in the gym. This is payback time for Barry Jones. He needs all of that conditioning now. Now Judson